Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Inshallah ta'ala, today we will finish the hadith number 2. As I said last week, I think Sunday, we missed last Saturday, but Sunday we did the hadith of Imam An-Nawawi, hadith number 2. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we will finish it. And probably next week, not on Saturday, next week on a weekday, maybe next Monday, not the coming Monday, next Monday, inshallah ta'ala, we'll try to have a quiz only on hadith 2. We had the quiz on hadith 1 before, and we'll have the quiz inshallah ta'ala maybe Maghrib time, because that time we have more brothers. So in this 1 week, we'll print out the copies of the whatever we have discussed in last 5 weeks. And also we try to encourage the brothers and inform the brothers also that to participate in the exams, the quiz, if the people who come in the Maghrib and Isha time, inshallah ta'ala. So let's begin. As you all know, this is the hadith that we are going through. This is the first hadith of the Muslim, Sahih Muslim, and this is the second hadith of Imam An-Nawawi's 40 hadith. Also this hadith is called, what is this called? What is the title of this hadith?
Hadith number 2.
This is called Ummul Sunnah. Like the Ummul Kitab is Surah Al-Fatiha is called the mother of the book. This hadith is called the mother of the Sunnah. And we have discussed that what is the Jibril come to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ask different questions. And the first questions that he asked about the Islam, and we said that we'll talk about Islam in hadith number 3, because that hadith is more detailed about the 5 pillars of the Islam. And in this hadith, we are talking about the Iman, the different aspect of Iman. The Iman on Allah, Iman on angels, Iman on the Prophets and His Rasul, and Iman on the book. And today we'll discuss the last bit of this hadith. So we'll go through the, what is Ihsan, what is the sign of the Day of Judgment and everything. But because of all this topic, there is like a whole chapter of the books in Aqidah, so we cannot go through the whole chapter in one day. So we're just getting the whatever gist we can. So we're bringing the main points, and then we will just go through touch the subject and finish this way, inshallah ta'ala. So today we will talk about the last 5 and 6, basically the last day, which is the Yawmul Qiyamah, the Day of Judgment, and also what is Qadr, and what is good and evil comes with that, and also the Ihsan, what is, because Jibril Islam had another question, what is Ihsan, and also the sign of the hour, what is the signs of the Qiyamah. But in this hadith, the sign of the Qiyamah is only mentioned only 2. There are lots of signs, major signs and minor signs of the Qiyamah, of the Day of Judgment, but in this hadith only mentioned 2, so we'll just go through those 2. Otherwise, it will take a long time if we want to go through all the signs of the Day of Judgment. So first of all, we start with the last day. The last day has different names in the Quran. I just picked up only 3 names, the Yawmul Qiyamah, and we recited Surah Al-Qiyamah today, and also Yawmul Akhir, also we have Yawmul Haq, and the other names. In our own language, in Bangla and Urdu also, there are different names of this day, and Allah mentioned also more than 5-6 names in the Quran about this day. And the second thing is that what will happen basically, I'm just going through very quickly that a wind from Yemeni direction will come. That's what Rasulullah said. There will be a nice cool breeze wind will come from the side of the Yemen, the direction of the Yemen, and all the believers, all the people who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time will die with that wind. So they will be done. So basically the Day of Judgment will be on those people who don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those are the most corrupt people. And some hadith said, there will be no people who will remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At that time, Allah will order the angel Israfil to blow the trumpet, and everything will be finished, the Day of Judgment will be started. So basically, the believers will go, pass away, die, before the Day of Judgment. And also, we know from the Quran, there is 2 blowing of trumpets. First of all, as I said, the Israfil will blow the trump, and the Day of Judgment will start it. After the Day of Judgment started, after the Day of Judgment has started, the next one, between the first one and the next one, there is a difference of, there is a gap of 40. Rasulullah said there is a gap of 40. Then the Sahaba asked, what is 40? 40 day, 40 week, 40 month, 40 years? Rasulullah didn't mention anything. So we don't know that. It could be 40 hours, it could be 40 days, weeks, months, whatever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. So Rasulullah didn't say. And the next time, so everybody is finished now. Everything is nothing in existence in the world. So the next trumpet will be blown. and everybody, including believers, non-believers, all the animals and everything, everybody will be resurrected. Everybody will come out from the grave and they will gather together, and that's what we call the hashar, the gathering of all the people and the animals, everything will be there. After that, people will be waiting for the judgment to start, and this waiting is the long waiting, as you can see here. Okay. So the first grave to open, also we should know that the first grave all open is the grave of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam from the Medina, as we all know. So his grave is the first one to open. But there is an interesting hadith in this regard. I haven't bring it here, but I'll just tell you guys that one of the Sahaba one day had a fight in the marketplace with a Jewish people. Something happened and he slapped the Jewish guy. And actually the Jewish guy was telling something and taking an oath on the name of Musa alayhi salam. So something, an argument happened. So the Muslim Sahaba, he slapped the Jewish guy. So the Jewish guy came to Rasulullah and complained, obviously. And then the Sahabas told Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, he was talking about Musa alayhi salam and taking oath of Musa alayhi salam. Why you are here? Why is he talking about Musa alayhi salam? Sahaba has the emotional feelings of Rasulullah, why my Rasul is there? Why are you talking about Musa alayhi salam? Something like this happened. So that time Rasulullah said, don't do too much about me, because when I will wake up from the grave, I will see that Musa is already hanging to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But that doesn't mean that Musa alayhi salam his grave will open first. Maybe Rasulullah's grave will be opening first, but by the time Rasulullah come and see that thing, in that time maybe Musa alayhi salam, Allah has resurrected him also, and Rasulullah said he was almost trying to hang to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the hadith says. So this is related to that incident. Also, everybody will be resurrected barefooted, naked, and for male they will be uncircumcised. And this hadith is a famous hadith, and Aisha radhiyallahu anha asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, if everybody is naked at that time, everybody will look each other. What is the matter of hijab and haya and everything? Rasulullah said the matter will be so much afraid, nobody has chance to look at other people. So everybody will be naked and everything, but nobody will look to the next person because they are concerned about themselves. Imagine how much, we can't even actually imagine that, how it's possible. But it will be like this, that nobody can look at others. It doesn't matter what you're wearing or not wearing or what is this. And the first person to be clothed, Allah will give some clothes to Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now this is a hadith, authentic hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But scholars debate why Ibrahim alayhi salam, why Allah choose Ibrahim alayhi salam to give the first clothing. So a lot of people say different explanation, because in Quran Allah says the best libas, the best dress is the dress of taqwa. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, as you know, he's like father of the spreading the Tawheed. He's the first to establish this fact. He's the first to found the Kaaba. So maybe because of that reason, and he's also one of the two Khalil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you all know that Ibrahim alayhi salam and our Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, these are the two Khalil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah, out of respect, out of his taqwa, out of his Tawheed, he will give the cloth to Ibrahim alayhi salam. And then the world will be made flat, the whole world, and it is mentioned in the different surahs, especially the surahs in the Jews Amma, talk about the Qiyamah, what will happen, how the sky will open, how the sun and the moon will be broken down and everything. So the world will be made flat. So the whole world at the moment, we know our world is like round world, so it will be made flat. So when you made flat, that's why Allah said that the world will give everything out from it. Because there is a gravitational, there's a lot of scientific talk about this. So there's a gravitational attraction in this world. When the whole world will be like a flat land, everything from inside will come out and everything will be very plain. And why it is made plain? Because so that everybody can come and gather into that field. And the waiting starts, and as we mentioned in the Quran also, Allah said there will be 50,000 years. The one day there is almost 50,000 years, and people will be so much tired, so much boiling in the sun, because sun will be near the head. They will say, run to people, run to the other people, run to the Prophet, saying that please start the hisab. We prefer Jahannam rather than this. They don't want to wait here, because it's not one day or 2 days, 50,000 years, until they will run from one prophet to another prophet. As you all know this hadith, at the end they will go to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah will say, Ana laha, meaning this is for me. I know this is for me, so I will make a shafa for you. I will go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I'll ask for the dua. And this is the dua that Rasulullah himself doesn't know what dua is that. He doesn't know the wording of the dua. He said that every prophet, every Rasul has given a special dua, and all Rasul has used that dua. For Nuh alayhi salam used that dua to finish his nation, because his nation didn't listen to him. For Musa alayhi salam, he made this dua. For Ibrahim alayhi salam, he made the dua already. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he saved the dua for the whole ummah. He said, no, I will save this dua for the last day, and inshallah ta'ala Allah will accept my dua. And he doesn't know the wording of the dua, but he will go to make the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At that time the hisab will start, so the judgment will start, and in the judgment, as you all know, the mizan will be placed, the books will be flying, and will come to your either right hand and the left hand. We make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah make us the people of the right hand, so we get our book in the right hand, inshallah ta'ala. And also Allah will make the sirat, you have to crossing the sirat. After the crossing the sirat, there is the Al-Kawthar, the pond of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if we are in the right path, if Allah keep us in the right path till we die, we will be able to drink from that pond. And once you drink from this, you will be never be thirsty. And after that, finally, of course, there is a lot of other things even in between these things. But as I said, we're going to go through very quickly. And after this one, Allah will place us in Jahannam or Jannah according to Allah's will and according to Allah's Rahmah. So this is in summary the last day of the events in the last day. The next topic is Qadr. Now the Qadr is a very, very difficult topic, as we all know, to understand. Even the scholar says that at one point you don't understand what is Qadr. Like at one point you have to stop there. What is this Qadr mean? What is destination mean? How Allah know everything, and then we're doing the evil thing, someone doing the good thing. So everything is a bit of a mixed up and confused in this one. And it's a very complicated matter in the sense, a lot of big scholars in their life, they have gone astray, like they became deviant because of the Qadr. That is also a Qadr of Allah, but they talk too much about the Qadr, try to establish the too much fact, try to find out how Allah know the future, why can we know the future, and all these things, and they became deviant. And one of these guys, very recent guy, his name was Rashid Khalifa. I don't know whether you guys know that. It was the time of 1980. So he became very popular actually. He found a theory of 19, that everything is 19 in Quran. The Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim has 19 letters. All the surah, 114 surah can be divided by 19, and all these 19 theories. So initially everybody liked his theory, and he was invited to the Middle East in Saudi Arabia, and they have a big conference, and in that conference he presented his talk, and everybody liked him and everything. But slowly, one day, a few years later, he said, he calculated the Quranic thing and everything, he did more research, and he found out the day of judgment, when the day of judgment will happen. At that time everybody understood, no, something wrong, because Rasulullah sallam said, he doesn't know when is the day of judgment, how come you know? And then after 1 or 2 years of that, he claimed that he is the prophet, he is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, astaghfirullah. And then, and there are some followers of him, and those followers actually still there in America, in Arizona. They are called, if you Google it, you'll find they are called the submitter. So they only follow Quran, they don't follow the Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, and because Quran means to submit, the Islam means to submit yourself, so they call them the submitter. But the Rashid Khalifa is not there. Someone assassinated Rashid Khalifa. They went to his house and killed him in 1989. So he's not there, but some of his followers still there. So this is a very difficult topic. So we're going to talk it very shortly. There are 4 things you need to know about the Taqdeer. If you believe these 4 things, and inshallah we all believe these 4 things, that's enough for us. That we believe in Taqdeer. We believe in Qadr. What is this? That Allah knows everything. Everything in the past, everything in the future, everything happening now, everything outside, everything inside, Allah knows everything. That is the first belief we have to have. Allah knows everything. The second thing is that Allah wrote everything in Lawh al-Mahfuz. Even before the creation, 50,000 years before the creation. Allah has written down everything. Even how many ants will be in this world, each ant, how many rizq will they have, everything is written in Lawh al-Mahfuz. Allah ordered the pen, Allah created the pen and told the pen, you write, and the pen wrote down everything. So Allah knows everything, and Allah has written down everything. Why does Allah written down? Because if Allah knows everything, why do you need to written down? One of the scholars says, written down means Allah had a record, because so that Allah can show us, Allah can show everything. So it's a record, it's a way of letting us know. It's not only in the Allah's memory, it is in the written form also. So that is another way to present it and everything. Number three is that the belief that whatever happens only happens by the will of Allah. Even if something bad happens, Allah has given permission that bad to happen. So if someone kills someone by mistake, by torturing someone, someone cheats someone, I took $100 from you and I never give back my cheat, I left you and everything. This has happened because Allah let it do this. Yes, this is bad, and according to Sharia I will be punished because I did a wrong thing. I lied, or I cheat or whatever. But the punishment, because I choose the wrong option, but Allah has given the permission to let it happen. And everything the scholar said, there is a wisdom behind everything. There is a good thing about everything. Maybe that wisdom, sometimes we see it in the next day, sometimes we see it after 1 year. So many incidents in our life, we tell, if that had happened, it's very good, alhamdulillah. Now I think, because that happened, now I am here. Because that didn't happen, now it's happened. So sometimes we know it later, but Allah knows from the beginning. And also sometimes we never know. The tsunami happened, the earthquake happened, this happened, that happened, and we feel so sorry. This is our human nature. We should feel sorry, but we should know that it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is from the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last thing about that is the belief that all things that happen are created. So everything that happened, they're created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also. Every event that happened, that you all guys sitting here, there's someone sitting in the chair, someone sitting here, someone hand is like this, someone hand is like this. This whole thing is also created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything is planned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everything is happening through the will, everything is happening through the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one day, the one hadith about this, one day Rasulullah came out of his masjid and he had 2 books in his hand. He has 2 books, but we don't know, in the hadith says 2 books, but we don't know whether the books like this, because there is no paper at that time, or maybe some parchment or something, or maybe book means, that it's like a metaphorical word. So he had 2 things in his hand. And he asked the Sahaba, do you know what are those things? This is my right hand. These are the list of the people who will go to Jannah for this whole world. This is the list of the people who will go to Jahannam. So Allah knows who is going to Jahannam and who is going to Jannah. Exactly Allah knows how many days I'm going to spend in the Jahannam, or whether I will go to Jannah without any days spending in the hellfire. Everything is Allah knows. But we don't know that. So Allah doesn't force us to do anything. Allah has given us the choice to pick the option, but what choice we will pick, Allah knows that. So if I say, next 1 minute I'm going to touch this or I'm going to touch this. I don't know, you don't know, right? It's up to me. Maybe I will choose this one, I will choose this one. But it's my choice, but Allah knows that which one I will choose. And I will be rewarded or I will get sin according to that action. So that is the only thing we have to understand about the qadar. So we're not going to go very detailed in this one. These are the 4 things you have to remember, and inshallah ta'ala, these are the 4 things that we should know about the qadar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very quickly, the last 2 things, the ihsan. What is ihsan means? We talked about it in the Quran class. Ihsan means, the people, when a person thinks that Rasulullah discussed that you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as he is seeing you. So when you stand for prayer, instead of thinking anything else, if you think that I'm standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing me, or if you think that I'm watching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, either of these 2 things, if all your actions are like this, then you are a muhsin people, and it is the high level of the believer. So you become a Muslim first, then you become a mu'min, and then you become a muhsin. So this is the highest level of the believers. The last thing, the sign of last day, and as I said, there's a lot of them. And there's only 2 mentioned in this hadith. First one, a slave girl will give birth to her master and mistress. And the second one, the tall building of the Arab land. This is, you all know, that Rasulullah said, the Arab people, the Bedouin, who are now barefooted, they are like taking care of the sheep and the goat. These people one day will compete making the tall buildings. And as you all know, that the people who went to the Dubai and Abu Dhabi and all these things, they are making tall buildings. This is a fact that we can see in our life, and they are making one after one tallest building of the hotels and everything, and they are competing with each other. Now the first thing, the slave girl will give birth to her master. What does it mean? And scholar has difference of opinion. The most strongest opinion is this. Try to understand. A slave girl will give birth to his masters. So it could be 2 things. Scholars say 2 things. Maybe there will be a lot of slaves in this world, but which is not true actually, because if you think the slavery is gone, there's no more slavery in the world, right? It's gone. So it cannot become. But we don't know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring the situation maybe like this. There will be again the slavery will become in a different form, and then will a lot of slave girls, and she will be married to her master or something, and then she will give birth. That is one thing. Another thing scholars say, it means the parents will be like that they will listen to their children. According to our Sharia, according to the Islamic law, the children should listen to parents all the time. As Allah said, you can't even say oof to your parents, right? But the situation will be like this before Qiyamah, that parents, the mother will say, okay, whatever the son is saying, I have to do it. Whatever my daughter is saying, I have to do it. And actually, which is very true. We can see around us, a lot of families are like this, Instead of parents talking to the children, children are trying to instruct them. They know more than the parents. That is also the knowledge of the children of the dunya, and they know more. They say, oh, no, you don't know anything, you sit down here. I tell you to go here, not this doctor, not this doctor, go this, not this country, not this country. So they choose the decision. They make the decision on their parents, and they don't listen to their parents basically. They don't listen to their parents, instead the parents listen to them. So as if the mother is a slave of the children. As if the mother is a slave of the children. So that is the interpretation of the scholars about that sign. So these are the only two signs of this Day of Judgment in this hadith. So inshallah ta'ala we'll finish the hadith number 2 here, and as we mentioned, we'll go through a quiz, not this Monday, the next Monday, and we'll spread the talk that the quiz will happen. So jazakallahu khair, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.